800-952-3467.
You are listening to the show that is all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business. I am your host, Shalom Klein. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can find them at EverettWealthSolutions.com or call my friend Chris Everett at 708-771-7777. Once again, 708-771-7777. What a great discussion with Gideon Bluestein of the Illinois Department of Employment Security. You know, as I just said, the show is all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And we're fortunate to have such good partners in the state that can work with us and partner with me on events like the business event. But also, we've got some great entrepreneurial success stories that we love talking to on Get Down to Business, and I'm thrilled to be joined here in studio with one of those examples, joined here by Helen Levinson of Indigo Interactive. Helen, thanks for joining us over here.
Thanks for the invite. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Helen, I've spent some time on your website, and you are doing some really, really cool stuff, but some pretty complicated stuff. Mm-hmm. Helen, tell us what Indigo Interactive actually does every day.
Well, I'll give you the Cliff Note version, because every time I explain it to folks, they just kind of look at me like, what do you do again? So we take care of, most of our clients are accrediting agencies, and if you have a child going to college, they're going to take a program that is typically accredited by an accrediting agency. These agencies look for a way to manage all of their data, their school data, their student data, and what we do is we come in and we build custom web applications and custom software to help them manage all of that data. So everything we do is workflow automation, and we come in, we assess the organization from beginning to end and how they do a lot of these processes, and we apply technology solutions to make their lives easier and run more efficiently.
Very interesting. So, Helen, if you don't mind, let's back up for a second. What have you been doing? Sort of, we love to, as I said, profile entrepreneurial success stories. I know you're an entrepreneur. You've had multiple businesses. Yeah. How did you get to this point that you're now working with accreditation agencies and societies and all sorts of interesting projects?
Right. Well, tenacity is one of them, right? Most entrepreneurs, we're pretty stubborn, and so we just keep on going. This is my third business, and my first business was really focused on website development and database development. Went into my second one, more focused on digital marketing, and then I had to circle back to what I loved most, and that was really technology. The one thing that I can tell people is that when you love what you do really well. And then when I had my second business, what I realized was that there was a real problem out in the accrediting agencies in that industry that we could solve, and I went after it. And that's the one piece of advice that I usually give a lot of entrepreneurs is if there is a problem that you can see in a marketplace that you can solve and solve well, go after it, because no good comes of being everything and doing everything for everyone. You just become a commodity after a while.
Sure. So in the sort of workforce, in the workflow management, I just spoke with Gideon about workforce, but in the workflow management process, so there's probably a lot of people involved. I'm sure you're always looking for good people that understand technology, obviously, and understand how to create the systems to help you manage that process. So how many people do you have in your office these days?
We have 13 full-time employees, and we have 5 subcontractors to help us get through the workflow that we have.
And you're a Chicago-based business?
We are. We're actually based in Arlington Heights.
Okay. Yeah. Great. And so on that note, what do you think of the Chicago business environment?
Well, as a tech person, the tech market is really exploding. There's a lot of businesses going on down in the kind of in that meat market district. We were actually going to move our offices down there. And the one thing that I realized was it's all about employee retention. So sometimes you can't follow a fad. You want to make sure that the people that you're hiring are the right people, and you want to keep your employees happy. You want to keep some retention going because you don't want any turnover. And so you want to basically stay in an area that's going to serve your clients well and also your employees, and everything stays cohesive.
And we were actually introduced through Bruce Leon of Tandem HR. So talking about employee retention and working with people, you've been working with Bruce and with Tandem for a little while.
Oh God, I've been working with Tandem for at least 7 years. Had them with my old business and have them with the new business. Love these guys. The one thing that I learned is that you really need to hire experts to do what they do well, so you can focus on what you do well.
They're good people, and I say this all the time, but Bruce is my go-to guy when I have a question about anything sort of business related, but certainly in regards to working with people. He's the guy that I'm texting, calling, and he seems to never sleep. He's always available, and his team, he's got such wonderful, amazing professionals, and that's what it takes. I mean, I agree. I think that to run a business, you need good people, but to attract good people, obviously you need to think about where your business will be located, and you need to make sure that you're working with professionals like those at Tandem HR, which is great. So before the show, you mentioned that you're always looking for good people. So tell me about that.
Well, we do have an internship program. So I'm all about the underdogs. I really like bringing in people that are eager and enthusiastic and passionate about what they do. Any students that are recently graduated from a university, or if they're still in school and looking for an internship, we are definitely, we have a 12-week internship program for technologists, project management, UX, and web designers. And we also are always looking for really good .NET developers. We code in MVC 5, and anyone that can raise the notch against our competitors and the web applications that we build is always welcome in our door.
And are most of the accreditation management systems that you're building, are they actually being built for accreditation groups that are here in Illinois, or you probably have clients around the country?
We're actually nationwide,
right?
And we're starting to break into the Canadian market as well.
Interesting. What advice would you have, Helen, for the entrepreneur that has an idea, much like you're on your third business, that has an idea and wants to turn it into a reality?
Yeah, well, there's a lot that goes into place with that. For me, it's always been taking the plunge. You just got to take the plunge. Obviously, think it through. Put a forecast together. The one thing that's always helped me is having a forecast. If you've got a new idea that's a bit different, surround yourself with some really great people, professionals, experts in the field that can help guide you, and that's the most important thing. Toss it off. Use a lot of your resources and present those ideas to those resources to see what they say. But for me, it's always been about taking the plunge and just going head first.
A lot of people talk about ideas. They talk, and they have strategy meetings and more strategy meetings. And trust me, I don't want to downplay the importance of strategizing and those meetings. Most of my day, we're both sitting here in front of cups of coffee. Most of my day is spent in meetings and in those strategy meetings. But I'm also, a big believer. Take that plunge, make things happen. Don't just talk about it. But for every meeting that you have, you should probably have an equal amount of time, if not a lot more, spent putting those plans and those strategy discussions into place. So really, really important. And Helen, sounds like you're sort of walking the talk and talking the walk, and you're doing all the right things. And in building a business, you're hiring people, and great advice for entrepreneurs and folks out there. And so, again, we're talking with Helen Levinson of Indigo Interactive. Helen has a internship program, and as she said a moment ago, always looking for good people. Helen, how can people reach out to you if they want to learn more about the work that you do and find out more about those wonderful programs that you mentioned?
Sure. Best way to find out more about our company is to visit our website, which is www.indigointeractive.com. And we also use Facebook a lot to post our job postings. So you can go to Facebook and just search for Indigo Interactive. You can find us there. We're on Twitter. Our handle is Indigo Interact, and we are also on LinkedIn. So we've got the social media networks pretty saturated.
That's good. People can find Helen Levinson of Indigo Interactive anywhere they go. And that's great. You're doing great work, and we're excited to have you back on Get Down to Business again real soon.
Thank you.
Continue to follow your entrepreneurial success story. Once again, you're listening to Get Down to Business, the show that is all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or call 630-928-0510. 630-928-0510. so you can connect with great people like Bruce Leon, my go-to guy in all things employment. You could also email them, simplify@tandemhr.com. After the break, we are talking with Elliot Richardson of the Small Business Advocacy Council about that event that I keep plugging, keep mentioning, because it's this week. It's called the Business Event. It's an all-day free business and employment expo taking place at Block 37, downtown Chicago. We've got great speakers on subjects like LinkedIn, marketing, networking, starting a business, legalities, accounting, everything. You won't want to miss a minute of it. And did I mention it's totally and completely free? It's free. It's called The Business Event. You could register on the website, thebusinessevent.com. You can also go on my website, shalomklein.com, to download podcasts from Get Down to Business. After the break, we're talking with Elliot Richardson of the SBAC.
Being aware